Good morning everyone, Dave here. I've been working on a video about the history of the Commodore MAX machine for about 6 months now. And there's still an awful lot I don't know about the Commodore MAX machine. I may never be able to finish that video because maybe I'll never find it out. So what I decided to do today is just give you a little sneak peek of what I've been working on by showing you one little tiny tidbit of the history of the Commodore MAX. And that's going to be which came first, the Commodore MAX or the Commodore 64? Wikipedia tells us the MAX was sold, quote, beginning in early 1982, a predecessor to the popular Commodore 64. It's fairly common knowledge across the internet that the MAX came first, but did it really? If we look at Commodore's 1982 annual report to shareholders, on page 5 it says the Commodore 64 began shipments in July 1982. The MAX machine is shown on page 4, and it says to begin shipments in winter 1982. That's not looking good for the MAX machine being the predecessor to the C64. Okay, maybe the 1982 annual report was printed with good intentions, but the C64 was delayed somehow after the report was already printed? U.S. newspaper ads from as late as July 28, 1982 list the C64 as coming soon, but by August 1982, newspaper ads show the Commodore 64 was in stock at retailers. So when did the Commodore MAX hit the retail market? This November 22, 1982 article in the HFD Retail Home Furnishings Trade publication quotes Michael Tomczyk, the product marketing manager for Commodore, as saying, Commodore is being deliberately mysterious about its yet-to-be-shipped MAX home computer. So MAX hadn't been released by November 22, 1982. This Commodore brochure from mid-1982, titled The Most Complete Microcomputer Line, shows the MAX, VIC-20, and C64 on the same page. It says the MAX will be available Christmas 1982. An updated copy of this same brochure from December 1982 says MAX will be available early 1983. These are all American publications, and we know the MAX was initially released in Japan, so maybe the Japanese release of the MAX was early 1982, like we read on Wikipedia. Nope. These typed meeting notes taken by Michael Tomczyk during a phone conversation with Tony Tokai from Commodore Japan reveal, quote, MAX, we are selling in Japan since end of November. There you have it. The Commodore 64 hit the market in August 1982, while the MAX began consumer sales near the end of November 1982. The Commodore 64 came first. The MAX was never released anywhere other than Japan, and that didn't happen until the end of November 1982. Okay, so maybe the MAX was conceived or designed before the Commodore 64. I posted a question about the MAX in the Commodore International Historical Society Facebook group asking about its history. Commodore engineer John Fagans commented on that post saying, quote, nobody has mentioned the original direction from Jack Tramiel to engineering to make a cost-reduced C64. Given this, we can conclude the concept of the C64 came first and development of the C64 began first. The MAX was then ordered by Jack Tramiel as a cost-reduced version of the C64. This tells us the C64 was conceived first, development began on the C64 first, and the C64 was released to market first. It is incorrect in every possible way to call the Commodore MAX the predecessor to the C64.